Hello, I'm Michaela. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Today we are here to talk about top 5 romance fantasy comics. And they're all Tapas comics must read. So I think I'm going to start doing a little series called Tapas Comics Must Read. If you watched my previous video, well, not previous, but I've done a video on what's better, reading manga online or buying it like in print. I can't remember the title, but put it right there for you. Anyway, if you watch that, you'll know that I've showed you a few websites where you can read online a bunch of comics or manga. So now I'm going to show you 5 of them and break it down certain categories, which is romance fantasy. And anyway, we're just going to get into it. So here we go. First, we have Revolutionary Princess Eve. Princess Eve has always been different compared to the other Imperial family members. For example, she has lime blonde hair, while the other members have straight up blonde hair. But more importantly, Eve has what she was a huge advocate for homunculi rebels. At first, when I saw homunculi, I was thinking homunculi from Full Metal Alchemist series. If you know what that show is, and if you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, homunculi in this world are artificial humans that have exceptional talent in magic and swordsmanship. Now, the Imperials treat the homunculi very terribly, just like slaves, which leads to the rebellion of the homunculi, which makes them go on a rampage, killing mostly the family members, but other people get caught up as well, which is unfortunate. But now, Eve thought she was going to die by their hands, but no, she gets poisoned by her own sister. Just freaking ridiculous. Luckily, she awakens 8 years in the past before any of this happens. So now she has one goal in mind. She'll become Empress and liberate the homunculi so this rebellion doesn't happen at all. The first step to do this is she gets the Rebel King himself, Michaelis Agneto, I think how you say it, as her personal knight. With Eve's scheming sisters always in the way, it won't be an easy task. But she will stop at nothing to achieve the crown and make the livelihood for the homunculi better. So what I'm probably going to say is all of these comics are beautiful art, which is why I love reading stuff on Tapas mostly. So yes, this has beautiful art and the storytelling great. At the moment, Revolutionary Princess Eve is on hiatus, so you can go binge it all right now. It's not free, but you will have to pay for it, like I said in the video. Pay for ink and then pay for it as you go. Alright, next one we have The Lady and the Lion. Young, willful Princess Hilna always wanted to do what boys did. Ride horses, practice swordsmanship, and be adventurous. So basically, she's a tomboy. Unfortunately, her ignorant, very strict father and her diabolical stepmother only sees her as an accessory for marriage. But then she meets Latio, a short-tempered and mysterious warrior prince who actually understands her. It's sort of like similar to Romeo and Juliet. Their fates are intertwined, but the real problem are the different empires they represent. Latio is from the Saga Kingdom, and Hilna is from the Western Empire. More specifically, she's a Thedorian? I think that's how you say it. The childhood part, where the main characters are seen as children, it goes on for a pretty long time, it seems like. It may seem like they're staying as children forever, but the glow-ups and their growth as people and potential leaders for their respective kingdoms is real. So stick with it. It's worth it. You'll see beautiful art and betrayal and the journey on how they'll bring the two empires together and to hopefully stop a war going. Or stop a war ever occurring. Stop fighting. Okay. Moving on. A match made in mana. Lillian Isla died as an abusive mother, a neglected wife, and a stepsister that was ignored, but then she wakes up as her younger self, a 12-year-old to be exact. This gives her a second chance at life and to set things right with the people in her life. Cedric, her stepbrother, was easy to win over since he's a big softy and has a heart who really loves his sister. However, her fiance is a magic-powered war machine doomed for insanity. A little later, we learn that Lily, what Cedric calls her, Lily has an illness that has to do with her mana, with the loss of mana. She's suffering from mana loss, which eventually leads to her death, which could lead to her death, but there's somewhat of a treatment for it. She has to have somebody give her mana on a regular basis, magic powered or regular basis, but it depends on the compatibility of the giver and the receiver. Fortunately, her fiance, Damien, was born with an excessive amount of mana. It was limitless. So they're literally a perfect match. A match made in mana. They complement each other and you get to see a different side of Damien, because in other people's eyes he's like a demon and just a monster with a lot of power. But when it comes to Lily, it shows a different side of him, and it's wonderful, it's beautiful. Check it out. Alright. Next one we have, what do you want to be, Prince? Yoon-soo is an average office worker by day, but by night she is a best-selling author called Wasser. That is until her creation comes to life. Prince Insun Kite, the villain of the series, her series, decides to kidnap her. Now Yoon-soo is trapped in the world she created. The only thing she can do is use her creative powers to meet his demands. However, she discovers she can only use her creative powers to affect her and not for him, since she's like a foreign object in her world, their world. To make matters worse, there are monsters and dark beings and demonic creatures that she doesn't remember creating in this world. Now she kind of makes him miserable. Insun is the third prince, while his other brothers, the first and the second prince, are married and have very successful lives. Eventually, she learns that there's more to the third prince that she created. There's more depth to him, and he's great to look at. Anyway, there's other things to look at, and you'll enjoy this, I promise you. Next, lastly, there's a creature on the window. The prince's personal physician. Oh, I can't say the word. I'm pretty sure. You know it. Raina is a doctor. Do no harm is the oath she swore by as a young surgeon. But when she falls and drowns on a stormy night, she doesn't die. Instead, she wakes up in a world where medical knowledge is forbidden for women. They can be sentenced to death if they are caught. Luckily, after her encounter with Zared, the captain of the royal guard, he came up with a plan to conceal her identity as a woman. It's the least he could do. I can't get my words together. Excuse me. It's the least he could do since she saved him after they meet up. So, Zared gave Raina a haircut to disguise herself as a man, and become Prince Damien's personal physician. I'm saying personal doctor. It's easier to say. It's the only way to keep her safe. Damien can be pretty stubborn and doesn't want to have a full examination because of his childhood trauma. Anyway, you can learn about medical stuff and almost like a medical drama with less blood. So yes, anyway, excuse me. Learn about medical stuff, so that's cool. And sort of like a love triangle we got going on with Zared and Damien. But I'm pretty sure, I don't know exactly if it is, they're going to end up with the prince. But I feel like that's where it's going because there is a thing called second male lead syndrome. They never get the girl, which is sad. Hopefully they get to have some moments together. But anyway, everything that I've given you is beautiful art and great stories. The only thing that's on hiatus at the moment is the very first story, which is Princess of Revolutionary Princess Eve. So I hope you enjoyed this video and hope you check these out. If this video doesn't get you to check these out, then hopefully you check out the short that I did, because that's already out on YouTube. I'll put it in the link in the description box below if you haven't checked it out already. So make sure you do that. And make sure you check out the other video as well that I mentioned earlier on how to navigate this Tapas website. Or Tapas, I never know how to say it. So, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos in the future. I'm Michaela. I'll see you later. Bye.